want to know which planet was causing your suffering? How about Earth?
Hey everyone, Brandflex here, back with a new Granblue Fantasy Relink video. For today's video, I want to talk about a captain mechanic that appears quite hidden. It's not in the game, it wasn't talked about in the community, and it wasn't in the mastery nodes anywhere. And that mechanic, to cut right to the chase, is going to be the fact that when you achieve a new arts level as the captain, your cooldowns all get a flat reduction. So just to prove my point a little bit, I'll go ahead and show you the captain's card just to prove that there's nothing on here that says that you get a flat skill reduction when you end up raising your arts level. And I don't know if it was in the tutorial and I just missed it, but this seems like a very obscure detail. I'm also going to go ahead and show you guys me swapping to a loadout that is completely blank, just so you can rest assured that there are no like Fearless Drive shenanigans, there are no Cascade shenanigans going on, just because that was what I thought was happening to begin with at first. So we're going to go ahead and use the practice tool timer as a gauge for the cooldowns that you're actually going to get. So Decimate, or rather not Decimate, but Reginleiv has a 15-second cooldown, and we can confirm that very easily by using Reginleiv right at 45. And when that total time left hits 30, we'll see it come back up, and then I'll use the timer at 15 as another example to prove for a fact that you are getting a flat skill reduction, or flat cooldown reduction rather. I keep making that mistake whenever you hit your arts level up. So you can see right there, Reginleiv came back at 30. That is all to be very expected, but when I start comboing at 15, we would expect that the cooldown comes up when the timer hits 0, but you'll see very quickly that is not the case. So just gonna do the usual combo to hit arts level 4, and then we're gonna hold still, and we're just gonna wait for a bit, and you'll see that right at 4, there it is. We got 4 seconds of cooldown back from doing arts 4. So my current hypothesis is that you get half a second back for going to arts 1 to 2, 1 second back from going to arts 2 to 3, and 1.5 seconds back from going arts 3 to 4. There is a pretty small chance that you're getting -1 second per arts level, but this is kind of hard to test, and I mean, to begin with, you want to go to arts 4 anyways. So to continue the test and show you guys how ridiculous this cooldown reduction can be, I'm going to use Decimate. So Decimate has a 30-second cooldown, so we're going to go ahead and start the test at 30 seconds so you can see just how far this cooldown reduction goes. I'm really excited about this tech because it adds so much complexity and depth to Captain's optimizations, and I'll show you guys the optimizations I was doing later just to show how cool this can be, because there's actually a lot of thinking going on now along with the mechanics you're supposed to do anyways as the captain. And this really makes it more exciting because everyone always thinks that, you know, the base character is kind of boring, the base character doesn't have anything special going on, but despite all, against all the odds, the captain is so interesting. So arts 4, you see go up to arts 1, and long before the cooldown, yep, you see right at 8 we have Decimate coming right back up. So right there, you can see the proof that this applies to all skills. You saw -4 on Reginleiv earlier, and I saw -8 on Decimate when I about hit that arts 4 twice. So I guess going from that testing, it actually is -1 seconds per arts level. But with that aside, I'm going to go ahead and swap to my actual main build, which is going to have Fearless Drive for that -10% CDR when I hit arts 4. It's going to have quick cooldown at level 15, which gives you a nice little 10% reduction, and that's going to make my cooldowns insanely short. We'll just go ahead and do the exact same test again with Reginleiv being cast at 45 seconds, just so you can see how fast this stacks. Now, full disclosure on how Fearless Drive works, it does go off the updated cooldown of your cooldown reduction or of your skill. So I'm not getting 1.5 seconds back with a quick cooldown. I'm actually getting 1.35 seconds back with quick cooldown. But you can see here, it comes out at 37, which means that it was about an 8-second cooldown, like 8 to 9-second cooldown, which is way shorter than the 11-second cooldown that we saw earlier. And so the same will be true with Decimate. Go ahead and just restart again. And then after we test Decimate out one more time, I'm going to show you guys the combo that I've lobbed out that I think really pushes the damage on Captain. Now, if you want to go back in the video and just pause on my build, you'll see really quickly how unoptimized it is. I'll go ahead and show it in full detail after this little bit of labbing, just so you can see how bad my build is for damage. And despite that, I'm still getting very, very close to what's considered on the low end of a pure DPS build for any other character. So I'm going to start at 33 here, and looks like right now it's good. And once again, I'm trying to show you guys just how crazy this reduction goes. It's actually so insane that it's actually kind of hard to like properly optimize a combo, because when you're optimizing combos, you're often looking for, let's see, wait, yeah, right to 14. It's almost half the cooldown if you go from arts 1 to 4 twice. How crazy is that? But anyways, I just want to tell you guys this because having the cooldown on your skill ability for just doing your basic rotation twice, if you're aware that's a thing, is so insane, because the Decimate into Overdrive Surge combo is by far Captain's strongest ability because of a small detail with the Rotom Bug abuse, which is when you update the damage cap of your lingering ability like Decimate with a new ability like Overdrive Surge that has a way higher damage cap. And that's just powerful for obvious reasons, where you're doing way more damage than was advertised. So here are my sigils. We're going to see that I don't have max crit. I only have 1 crit rate line when I should have 2. I have a bunch of defensive sigils. I even have quick charge because it's a really nice quality of life sigil to have that doesn't add that much damage necessarily. And we'll see that I have uplift at a total of 40. So I have 3 nodes dedicated to uplift. I don't even have full crit. I'm missing a lot of attack power. My nodes could be stronger for attack power. And despite that, I will still deal a lot more damage to the dummy than you might expect from a build that is so defensive and utility based in nature. So this little combo that I ended up labbing is built with the purpose of getting as much value as often as possible from the flat color reduction from the passive. So you're going to see I'm going to cast Reginleiv right when my arch drops to 1. So that way, when I stack back up, it's going to drop at arts level 3. I'm going to go back up to 4. I'm going to ignore Reginleiv coming out cooldown because I want to make sure that I have everything up for this next combo. I'm going to miss a Link attack there because I'm playing poorly, but we're going to see that when I get back to arts 4 here. Right about when I cast this combo here, I should be getting this back, and I can cast that because by the time I get my arts back up, everything else will be on cooldown. This is a bit unoptimized just because I had to practice this combo. Genuinely have to practice this just to make sure I have everything down properly. But it's a lot of damage, you can see. This is actually on the low end. I can get this to 23 million when I'm doing it properly, and that's from the small mistake I made earlier. So you're looking at 22,777,000 damage. And again, you might say, well, Ran, that's really low for a DPS character doing DPS rotation. Once again, my build is really bad, all things considered. It's nowhere near best in slot. It's nowhere near the quality that you would expect to be competitive with that 30 million damage baseline that you expect a strong damage character to deal. So I'm going to go ahead and reset this. I'm going to try and give the kind of normal rotation a shot. To be fair, I haven't really labbed it, but I'm going to do the same starter because I do think this starter will be optimal regardless of whether you're playing a build meant to optimize or not. And obviously there is the other aspect where there is an entire like Rotom bug abuse. Also, I already messed up out of sheer habit. I'm fairly certain if you're playing the Captain normally, you would always stack to 4 arts there. So I'm going to go ahead and run this anyways, just because I do. It just ends up being a bit more popular. Actually, you know what? This is going to be another version of the combo. I'm going to see if I can push it even further this time, because I did mess it up earlier. So yeah. This is such a waste of a minute. If you guys want to skip this part, feel free to. I just really enjoy labbing like this. It's so much fun to lab. These combos that I think have so much potential. And it ends up being a little less damage. That's pretty close. 22 million when it should be 23. Yeah, so it's a little worse because they messed up the optimization a good amount, but you can see that I'm doing so much damage. So I'm gonna pretend that you don't know what this bug is, and I'm gonna try my best to remember that a normal captain player will be using their Reginleiv at 4 arts. So you can see here, it falls off. You know from the earlier fights that it would not end up popping up. End up doing a bit of a bad combo there. I should be using charge attacks, but I'm not. But this is more of just the proof of how important it is to be aware of this. So here, we can see this all lines up quite nice, which is as intended. Keep comboing. So far, you might be thinking, well, Bran, this looks very competitive. Like, why do we care about this combo? Why do we care about the mechanic? It all seems like it's working as intended. You can see here that a normal player might be a bit unsure if they should be using the Reginleiv. So I'm going to go ahead and pretend that I'm not sure. Like, I'm not confident, basically, in my cooldowns, right? And we're going to see that I'm going to keep attacking, try and get some more damage out. 21 million. So, again, to be fair, I'm only 700,000 off. But as I mentioned earlier, the optimal combo actually makes it at 23 million, which is 1.5 million more. And you might be saying like, oh, 7% damage, like who cares? That's not even that much. It does add up very quickly, especially when you get to higher and higher numbers. And you never know when there's a fight that requires these more optimized numbers to achieve to get that clear. And not even to mention that you could run a much better build that will abuse the rotom bug that I've been low-key abusing with these rotations a little better, which will make a huge difference because my combo, the one that where I was cycling properly, does get an extra cast of Decimate into Overdrive Surge most of the time, or at least they cast it early enough to the point where if it wasn't a 1 minute time limit, I would have it much sooner than the other combo would. So yeah, this video could have been like 2 or 3 minutes shorter, but I really just wanted to show the labbing and the really cool potential that this mechanic has for any aspiring captain player out there. If you guys like the video, please let me know in the comments. I know that the captain isn't a super popular character, but I hope stuff like this makes it more enticing, and hopefully we have like an army of Grans and Jitas running around. It'd be really cool. If you didn't like this video too much, please again let me know. I would love to have more input on how to make videos for this type of game. Eternal Return, which was my previous game, was a lot more streamlined with guide making, and so this one's a bit more freeform, so I'm still trying to find my place, and how this all should work out. But with all that said, I hope you guys have a good day or night wherever you are, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.